Hello everyone, I wanted to share a quick hyperlapse on how I have been painting with my Derwent Inktense color pencils, which are water soluble. And there are two ways of doing this. There's one way where you would use the color pencil to color in your shapes and then go in with a water brush and spread the color around, which is what I've done for a number of my previous flowers. But for this beautiful set of flowers, what I decided to do was color Pluck from the pencil's tip. So I used the water brush directly on the color pencil's tip, and then I just went in and colored like I would with normal watercolors. So it was an interesting experiment to do, and as you can see, I tried with different shades of color pencils at the same time for each petal. And I just found that the transition between the colors, the blending, was a lot smoother, but you also got a lot more pigment from the color pencil tip than you do if you were to color in with the color pencil and then try to spread the colors. And it was arduous to go in to each petal and do this in terms of shading, because there's a base layer, then there's a second layer, there's a highlight layer, then there's the deep color layer. So the last thing that I did is go in with the color pencil for the really dark bits and then just spread them just a tiny little bit with my water brush, so that that deep color stays, and that really adds visual interest and makes those flowers come to life, so to speak. So I reserved my use of the color pencil directly on the paper till the very end to give it those very dark, bold lines. And don't be afraid to use dark, bold lines. I know you feel like, sometimes I feel like it, that I'm going to ruin it by going in really intense, but that intensity is so important to make those flowers really feel real, because in real life they don't have those harsh lines, but they do have shadows, and that's kind of what the dark filling in does. And you might have noticed that I went in with white also, sometimes where I felt where the highlights were not quite as visible. So really there's not much to it. It's just a lot of layers, a lot of patience, and you can use both techniques simultaneously, or you can choose which one you want to use. The last thing I did was add some shadows around the flowers and the base and inside one of the vases. And then I just splattered some ink around and the card was complete. So the card is actually not complete. I take that back. The painting is complete. I do still need to make this into a card and choose an appropriate sentiment. But this was fun doing. This is a digital stamp, which I'm starting to work more and more with, and I'm just enjoying the process. So I hope you liked the little bit of insight that I provided into how I made this painting, and I hope you continue crafting and stay well. Have a wonderful day.